Hello. So this video, I wanted to give a little bit of the information that the Father has told me, or Source Energy has told me, and also ETs and stuff, like my guides have spoken with me too. But what Father told me is that, like, the four pillars that make God consciousness, like God, are love, understanding, patience, and forgiveness. So he basically said that if something doesn't fall under those categories, then it's not God, and you shouldn't be associating yourself with it. So, like, God being patient with you is part of the ascension process of like growing, And I went through a period where I was connecting with or like I told you guys, I'm going through telepathy and learning how to become a telepathic being. But when your emotions get into the lower frequencies and you're opened up telepathically, you can connect with beings that are not in your best interest. So having those four things, the love, understanding, patience, and forgiveness, if you can always go back to those, and if something isn't doesn't fall into those categories, then like you have to starve that energy, or don't interact with that kind of energy at all, and bring yourself up into those words as well. Like, be patient with yourself, forgive yourself for being in those lower states, and come from a place of understanding, and look at your body and your brain, your thoughts and emotions kind of as like a third party. Like, and I've talked about this before, like the Buddhist eight-spoked wheel, where if your emotions and your thoughts and stuff are like the spokes of the wheel, you can go out onto these spokes, and you can be in upswings and downswings of your emotions, but you're always an observer from this centered spoke, or the center hub of the wheel. And that's kind of that place of unconditional love for yourself and others around you, and that patience, forgiveness, and understanding. Um, Source also said that for your body and your consciousness to grow and heal as much as possible, there are also four things that are required, and that is movement, recuperation, sanitation, and nourishment. So movement would be like walking, or like even working. If you have a job where you move constantly, that's a movement. And that's why people take walks. Walking is like a moving meditation. And they've said that. Uh, I think this is like my guides that said this, but like hiking makes your energy field like 10 times stronger. So if you can get into this balanced state, maybe by sitting and doing Kriya yoga, and then go and hike for a couple hours, it just like solidifies that state that you're in, that flow state, or that state of being, that much more, because it intensifies your energy field and makes those lower and weaker energies come up and out of you, and also creates that energy wall, so that barrier, so that they can't get in, and it makes your field stronger. Recuperation is like getting proper sleep. I've definitely gone through, like, when I get out of whack, my sleep pattern is usually pretty bad. So getting good sleep and knowing how to do that is really important. Some techniques that I have for, like, you can take like kava and valerian root really help, and Calms Forte has been recommended to me, and I only take that stuff when I'm like really on one. And it brings me back down, and grounds me really fast when I take that before bed and use that for sleeping. But also, like, holding the love frequency while falling asleep, and like loving the sensation of, like, exhaling and relaxing on your exhale, like, oh, but while you're trying to sleep. And when I've done that, I've definitely noticed that if I fall asleep when I'm not trying to do that, I'll have my dreams will be normally more dark. But if I fall asleep while loving that sense of relaxation and loving myself and falling asleep in the self love frequency, my dreams are amazing, and they're so vivid, and I travel so much more when I fall asleep in that love state, you know. And then sanitation, like cleansing yourself with water, is so important. That like one of my friends, he actually meditates an hour every single morning while the shower is on, and he like sits down in his shower and meditates while water is hitting him. But water is such a powerful tool that we have here for us light workers, because it's like this super abundant liquid crystal that we can that these some of these more stuck energies in our body will release and wash away in that water, because like it, and some people in C5 say that ETs are here, and I totally believe and agree with this. But ETs, a lot of them are here to study water, and the amount of information and like higher dimensional physics with water is like insane, and we don't even really know the true power of water. Like I think there's this Japanese scientist or something that took two bowls of water, and he shouted like hateful things at one bowl of water, and then told the other bowl of water like I love you, you know, and then froze them in the freezer. And what happened was the one that he shouted hateful things at turned to this like super chaotic, like unattractive looking water, for like frozen water formations, like ice formations. And then the one that he told that he loved, it formed these like crazy psychedelic, symmetrical geometrical patterns on the ice, and it's pretty wild to see that, you know. So it just goes to show the untapped potential of what water is. And I also wanted to mention you can combine movement and sanitation into one if you go swimming. And they've told me that swimming, and I can feel this in my body too. Like if you go swimming, it's such a good way to not only meditate but sanitize your body. And if you're moving while you do it, it's just that it amplifies the effect that much more, you know. So definitely go swimming more if you're in the process of healing, or you're just trying to upgrade your DNA in general. But yeah, and then the last one is nourishment. And obviously this is super important. You have to like, some ETs uh, can basically thrive without any food, but because we're here on Earth and we're interacting with so many different energies, our bodies definitely need nourishment and all the different vitamins and minerals and stuff. They've told me that ashwagandha root is super important for being like a telepathic being, because ashwagandha, it like slows down your thought processes a lot, so and helps you do that kind of catch and release where you hear a telepathic message, and it's easier to release it without getting latched on and letting like your own thoughts travel with it. So ashwagandha is really good. They've told me that asparagus is really good. And then yeah, like just eating salad greens and meditating. It helps with the meditation and clearing your mind and stuff. What else have they told me? They've told me that like things like nuts are really good. They've told me specifically macadamia nuts and cashews are really good. I don't know if that's for my body specifically, but I'm guessing that it's probably pretty good for all humans, you know. And then things like healthy fats and stuff too, like fish and that's like the skin, like fish oils and stuff. Taking those are really good. But yeah, guys, hopefully this gives you a little leg up or whatever with whatever you're trying to do. I know, like I think my whole thing is like going through like stages of healing, but also growing at the same time. And that's what ascension really feels like to me. Is like you grow a whole bunch, and then you kind of go back and retrace your steps to relearn and reintegrate some of these things to reaffirm some of the lessons that we've had, and finding the right combination of doing like the movement, recuperation, sanitation, and nourishment, and learning how to balance all of this, being telepathic and communicating with ETs daily, and but also being like a regular person in society and working and having friends that are just regular people, and that don't really prescribe to any kind of conspiracy theories or whatever, and learning how to balance it all, and being the best version of yourself. So give me a like. Peace.